beautiful people, welcome back to another edition of Journey of an African Lady, where, as you guys know, we discuss everything fashion, business, and lifestyle. Today we're going to be doing our first part of my 2 series of culture shocks that no one really talks about when moving to the United States. Today's going to be a little more family-ish, personal, and with me I have my lovely sister.
Hey guys, my name is Tekowa Ashers, and as y'all know, I am Tekowa's sister. Some of you don't know, but most of you know. I am Tekowa's sister, and I am so happy to be here and to share with you guys my personal experiences of culture shock in the United States.
If you guys haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And let's get right into it. I'll go first. The first thing that really shocked me was how there's so much technology in this country. So getting here, I was at the airport and like we got to the airport. Okay, I kind of got over how big the airports are, first of all. And then and then we got home and I had to shower because I wanted to shower. And I mean, 23 hours flight, no joke. I literally ran out in my towel and I went to call my sister because I was like, oh my goodness, like
She was like, how'd you turn the shower on? And I was like, wait, you don't know how to turn the shower on? She was like, yeah, I don't know how to turn the shower on. And I was like,
it was so great. No, guys, and don't get the thing like, oh, in Africa they don't have showers. We have showers. We have very high-tech showers. It's just
American showers are so different.
They're so different.
Like us, we just open the tap and water pours down. But over here, you have to like pull this thing and pull that, and then water. Like you're like, wait, hold up.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Another culture shock is definitely for the first time schooling in an American school. When it comes to like the teacher giving you your grade and stuff, somebody might get like a D or an F, and the teacher's like, oh, don't worry, hon, you did your best. You tried, and that's what matters. And I'm like, bruh, this kid was literally staring into space the whole time, bruh. How did the kid try? Like, I'm like,
I was so shocked, like how like teachers are so lenient. You know what I'm saying? Like they're so nice. And I was out where I'm from, like no teacher. Like if you get a C, like that's
if
terrible.
you get a C, like a girl.
If you're like an A student and you just drop to like a B, bro, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And teachers here are just like,
you can get detention and stuff like that. But over here, they're just like, you tried your best, and I'm like, hold up. That
like,
doesn't
wait,
make sense.
It's so easy to like start slacking in your studies because then you think you're all right until you can't make it to college. Then you realize, oh, I was slacking this whole time. So guys, keep your grades up.
Okay. 100.
Now, another thing that really shocked me as well was the fact that there are a lot of blended families. I'm sure you guys are aware that we are part of a blended family, and back in Kenya, we were kind of like out of place because there are not that many blended families in Kenya because like, I mean, there are many single parents, but not blended families.
Yeah.
And so over here, like, I even forget sometimes that I'm part of a blended family because it's so common to have like blended families. At first, it was shocking to me, like the divorce rates and all that kind of stuff was really shocking to me because it's not that common back in Africa, And then coming here, it's like, oh, okay, so a lot of people are part of blended families, and you're just like, okay, well, then I'm not, the odd one out. You kind of just feel like, okay, we're Gucci.
Yeah.
But that was a culture shock at first because I was like, oh my goodness, there are like so many blended families. Like, this is weird, but this is great.
Another culture shock for me was how people are so chilled with their dress.
I expected, like, for me, because I feel like when you're not in America, they really show like they focus on celebrities, obviously, and celebrities always dress up, they always look good, everything, but they don't really focus on like normal Americans. Normal Americans are so chilled, you guys. Like jeans, t-shirt, sneakers, they're Gucci, like, and so I remember like when we came here, I was expecting like, oh my gosh, I have to always look nice every single time. I just had that expectation that everyone was gonna look super glammed up, makeup done, and I'm not a makeup person, so you can imagine I was like, oh gosh. But you know, it was so interesting, and also because like at school, all the girls would like do full on makeups every single day. So I just had an expectation that's how it is, and forgetting that they actually just do that for school, and it's not always like that. When I moved out and like started college and everything, then I realized, oh, people are social in their dressing. Like what we see is not it. Like that's not it. And all these other girls in high school were really just trying to copy celebrities. But in the real life, people are just chill for the most part. And I think it's fantastic. But also sometimes you do feel odd, like being the dressed up one, and everyone's like, "Why are you dressing? Where are you going?" And I'm like,
yeah, definitely experienced that in school too. Cause like I used to like dress like, I don't know, like I'm going for like prom or whatever you call it, and like I walk in and like everyone's like so chill. I'm like, okay, now I feel weird. Why am I so dressed up? You know, and everyone's looking at you like, wow, you're so dressed up, and I'm like, I thought you guys do that over here. That doesn't mean you start dressing bad, okay? You know, I cut down some of, you know, the glam, but of course you still have to look good, you know? You can be chill but still look good.
Fast foods. Now, there's so many fast foods here to the point that everyone's so used to there being fast foods. And so like, you know how like in Kenya, like if we're going to Burger King or KFC, I think not even just in Kenya, like Africa generally, a lot of us do this, Africans. If we're going to like McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, you know, like we be posting and stuff.
And I know I like a big deal. Like we be like, hey, I'm in KFC in your face, and everyone's like, hey, my girl, she's living the life, and you're like,
you're like, that's so squishy.
That's right.
You know? And it's so funny because I know I used to do that. Like I'm talking for myself as well. I know I used to do that. If you guys followed me my previous Instagram accounts, you guys know that like I did that. And so yeah, it was just so interesting how like over there, like we post about these fast food restaurants. In America, it's kind of like you don't post about that stuff. Like you and a KFC. First of all, people do not even like KFC to start off with. I was so shocked. True. I've never had KFC even once since I stepped into this country. Because
that is so true.
Yeah, because the first thing I was told was you did not want to go to McDonald's and you did not want to go to KFC. And that stuck in my head. And I was like, why? And they're like, they're just like bad places. But I still remember. I still remember being told that. And that stuck in my head. And so I only had like McDonald's, I think like twice or thrice. I've never had KFC. Because it just stuck in my head. Like, you do not go there. And so it's so interesting because like no one really posts about that stuff. Like if I'm gonna buy McDonald's right now or order McDonald's or something, I'm not gonna post about that. Like I'm gonna post like a really nice authentic restaurant, like I'm going to like a Thai restaurant or Chinese restaurant or like an African restaurant, then I'm gonna post about that. That was a big thing for me because I was so ready to like go to all these fast food places and just post and be like, I'm here, I'm there. But I was told like we don't do that here. So I was like, okay.
Another culture shock that I got is like over here everyone's like, oh my goodness, I love your accent, and I'm like, oh,
you like that one?
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, you like that one? And they're like, yeah, it's really cool because over here we have so many like, you know, like there's so much of the American accent. Like we really don't get to like see like, you know, hear different other, you know, types of accents and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was like, seriously guys, not to go back to being Kenyan again.
Generally I think a lot of like just having, like even just yesterday I was in my Uber on the way to work and the driver's like, oh, you don't really know. And I'm like, oh god, here we go again. And so I'm just like, yeah. They're like, where you from? I'm like, Kenya. And he spoke to me in Swahili and I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's definitely a nice thing when you, like I've learned to really, like I think being in the States, it's funny because it's so funny. You'd think that while I was in Africa is where I really learned to embrace my culture. But I feel like as Africans, we try so hard to be like the Western world to the point that we're slowly losing our culture. Many young people just feel like if I have to look cool, I have to behave like an American or I have to behave like, you know. I'm sorry guys, I'm tearing because I don't even know why I'm tearing. It's so weird. So anyway, they just think that and it's so interesting because here being in America is where I've really learned to embrace my roots and embrace the fact that I am an African woman. Like yo, like I'm proud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's really because I give it to the people. You know, the American people have been so welcoming with the fact that I'm different. They actually embrace that. In Kenya, so many times, like, people would, like, make fun of my accent because they're like, oh, you don't even sound Kenyan. Like, I try to talk in Swahili and they're like, oh, your Swahili is terrible. Just don't talk in Swahili. Or, oh, this and that. You know, and I think a lot of times you don't really realize it, but then that kind of makes you feel like, okay, I don't think I should talk in Swahili, or I don't think I should, you know, whatever. It kind of like low-key brings you down without you even realizing it. But over here, people don't care if your Swahili is trash. They will embrace that. They will love it. Okay, they will love your broken Swahili. They will love the fact that you are African, you are true to yourself, you're true to your roots, you are your own person. And that has definitely boosted my confidence. And I've definitely seen my sister as well. Both our confidences have really, like, gone from, like, here.
Mine was, like, low. My confidence was so low, and like everybody over here was so outgoing and loud and stuff like that. So I was like,
another thing, Americans have, their confidence is like way up.
It's like
bro, like, you have to step up. If you come here and you're just, you gotta step up.
Yeah, you gotta step up.
Everyone's confidence is high.
That's right.
And that's something I'm really happy about. And for me, the one thing that I'm, like, as I've said, I'm super happy about the fact that they're so accommodating, especially when you are a foreigner, when you're an immigrant. My heart literally is so warm right now, because the love that we have gotten, we have received just by virtue of us being different. Honestly, like, it makes me cry. It really does. It really does. It's amazing. It really is. And this is the one place where you embrace your culture. You embrace.
Also, while people are outgoing and stuff, like, when it comes to, like, socializing, like, most Americans, they're very reserved. Like, you actually have to go to them and make the initiative for you to actually make friends and, you know, stuff like that.
A lot of people here do have social anxiety, and it's not that people are mean, because initially I was thinking, oh, people are just probably mean and just think like, oh, this African girl, and like, I'm in my own, like, class and whatever. Like,
yeah, I used to really be like, ugh, Americans are so mean. Like
so
no one's
mean,
even
so
make the initiative to come to me.
You know?
Like, just because I'm African, now you, like, you know, keep your distance. But it's not that.
It's not that. A lot of them really just suffer from social anxiety, and, you know, they want to, you know, get to know you, but they're scared. And so take that initiative. If you ever find yourself here, take that initiative, go out and say hi. But also be aware that people here do really, they really have boundaries, especially with, like, friendships. A lot of people have their own circles generally. And so when you first move here, you are pretty much for a long time gonna be a one-man island. I'm not gonna lie to you. For the longest time, I didn't even have any, like, real friends for a really long time. Like, I was just my own person, you know, and that really frustrated me. I remember calling a friend back in Kenya and just crying over the phone, because I was like, I have not made any friends, and this is not me. Like, I'm used to having friends around me. But I realized also it just takes a bit of some time for them to warm up to you. But when they eventually do, oh my gosh, they're just amazing people. No, it's just really understanding how people work here. They work very differently. It's not like, you know, like in Africa, like, if you see someone, say we talked today, and, like, I see you that, like, tomorrow, I'll be like, hey, what's Gucci? Like, I stop, we talk, we chat, you know, like, we hang out, like, even more. Over here, you have to respect the fact that if I met you today, we had a conversation, that doesn't necessarily mean tomorrow it's gonna be the same. Like, tomorrow,
and that we're friends,
and that we're friends. That does not mean that we're friends. I just talked to you, we happen to have a little connection at that point, period. Like, that's it. Tomorrow, don't come and be like, oh, let's hang out. No.
Like, I used to, like, do that a lot over here, because in Kenya, like, you know, like,
if you talk to someone, like, Gucci, we friends, we buddies.
Yeah, we friends, you know, we're friends. Like, you know, there's no even discussion, like, we're friends. And so I used to do that a lot. Like, I used to be like, hey, we talked yesterday, hi, how are you? And they'd be like,
yeah, it's like,
and I was like, this person is so
So
mean.
mean.
Like, you changed.
Like, how do you change overnight?
I
That's
know.
so
I
weird.
was like, weirdo. But no, you really have to give people their personal space and respect it.
Another thing that also shocked me was, you know how like in Kenya, if we are broke, rice and beans carry us through all the way. No doubt. Over here, I was so surprised. It's actually chicken and rice. And the funny,
Just like Swaziland. It's
yeah, and
crazy.
how I found out about that was actually a friend of mine was telling me of this period where she was super broke, blah blah blah, and she was like, you know, my rice and my chicken carried me through. I was like, what?
You're eating the food.
You're eating
like,
rice and chicken?
How are you
And
saying
you
that
say
you're broke?
Are you serious right now? I didn't tell her that though, but I went and I thought about if she's watching this, she probably knows that. Sometimes she's like, oh no, this girl. But I mean, sis, I was like, for real? Okay. But like, and then I thought about it and I was like, oh, okay, that kind of I can't relate because I know when we first moved here from Kenya, bro, we were eating rice and chicken day in, day out because, bro, you all know how expensive chicken is in Kenya. If you see on my stories that I'm cooking chicken, guys, leave me alone. We're not broke. It's just that we love chicken, okay? We love chicken. I love chicken. I'm a Swazi girl. I have that blood in me. We love chicken. We're not broke though. It's just, my goodness. That shocked me because I was like, oh my gosh, this whole time people are probably looking at my stories and being like, damn, they broke. They broke. But it's so good. They broke. We're not broke, okay? I just love chicken. Like, why does it have to be chicken? Beans is not a broke food.
I know, right?
And I hate
but
beans.
in
because
Africa,
in my head,
like, you must be at the ground.
Yeah,
if
in
you're
my
eating
head, I
beans.
think of beans as broke food. It's not broke food over here. People be like, oh, I'm having like black beans. Or do you want like black beans in like your tacos or whatever? I'm like,
another culture shock is how like when we first came, you know, with the traffic lights and stuff in Kenya, like we'd be running across the road and like cars even like, you know,
bro, you there
put in
like
more speed, you know, to scare you, and you're running for your dear life. You're like, God.
You know how we hustle with those matatus and stuff. Like
yeah.
even on the zebra crossing, it's no joke, bro.
On the zebra crossing, that's when they even increase the speed, and you're more likely to get hit.
Jamani, really?
Like, and then over here, like, I remember, like, my first walk with my uncle and my dad in America, and, like, we wanted to cross the road. My dad, he grabbed my hand, and he's like, let's run before these cars come. And my uncle held my dad's hand, and he was like, bro, no, you don't do that. You know, you just press the button, and the cars will stop for you, and you can cross peacefully.
So another thing that also had definitely shocked me was that people here work super hard. I feel like a lot of the times we don't really see that part of that because in Africa we're just thinking, oh my goodness, these people have nice cars, they have nice houses, they have this and that, they can afford designer brands, and we don't really see the fact that these people actually work so hard to afford those things. This is definitely not a place for lazy people. If you're coming here thinking that you're gonna, you know, just enjoy life like that, you will enjoy life if you work hard. If you're gonna come here and just chill out, this is not for you. I like straight up, this is not for you because this place, like, it's a 24-hour economy, and there's a reason why it's a 24-hour economy because people be working super hard every single day. Every single day at work, I meet people who be coming. They're going night shift till 6 a.m. They come back, sleep. Some people do 2-3 jobs. It's crazy. It's crazy to keep up, to keep up with bills, to keep up with the lifestyle here. It's a completely different lifestyle. There's a reason why the lifestyle here is so high, and you think that the lifestyle here is high so that you can just chill and do nothing. No, you work hard. You work hard for that dollar. You work hard to make your money. And so I think that's just something that a lot of people need to prepare themselves mentally before coming here. Prepare yourself mentally that I'm coming to work hard. If you think you're gonna come and just chill and have, so the last thing definitely has to be the sense of humor. Sense of humor here is so different.
We have suffered, man.
We have suffered.
Because, you know, we come with that
We're still
African
suffering.
litness, and we're all like, you know, and Americans, like,
They're very simple people, and they
Yeah.
laugh at the silly, well, we can call them silly, but it's just the simplest thing. I think as Africans, we're just generally very literal people. And so, and like just even me and my family, like we're just very literal people here are very sarcastic. I am still to this day learning how to take sarcasm because I'm not a sarcastic person and it sucks, but my parents are guiding me through that, so I'm making progress, guys. Gradually we're getting there. But just like generally, you know, like people, the sense of humor is just very different. I think we're more used to like British humor. American humor is very different. A channel that has really helped me to understand American humor definitely has to be The Office. I was surprised. I actually liked that show, and so The Office has definitely helped me understand American humor more and kind of like relate more with people here. The last thing that I have to say here is when it comes to respect here is very different as how we us as Africans are taught. People here are taught very differently. People don't even refer to, I mean, it's not like it's a big deal here. People don't really refer to each other by titles. Like, you know, if say I have a friend who has a mother or a dad, I'd just, out of respect, I'd call them auntie so-and-so or uncle so-and-so, just to show that respect. If I have my boss, I'd say miss or mrs or sir. If I just generally, respect in Africa is a big thing. You cannot just go to someone who's older than you and just be like, hi Stella, hi Lillian, hi so and so. Like, it's so whoa, you know. But over here, people don't really use titles that much.
Yeah, and like people used to some older people that I met used to be offended when I used to call them by like titles and stuff. Like I'm gonna be like,
yeah, they actually get offended.
Aunties, you know,
like,
whatever.
And
they're like, wait, so you're saying that I'm old now? And I'm like, no, I'm just being respectful. And they're like, no, I told you to call me by, you know, my nickname. So like, do that. And you're like,
oh, okay.
Okay.
But you see, I'd rather someone tell me that than someone get offended that I'm not. Like, someone get offended that I'm being disrespectful by not giving them a title. I'd rather I give you a title and then you tell me, no, don't call me that. Just call me this. As opposed to just me calling you by your name and you're like, excuse me? You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys, so that was all we have for today. That is our part 1 of culture shocks. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. It's more of a personal, you know, fight kind of going on. Stay tuned for part 2. If y'all haven't yet followed me on Instagram to keep up with the updates with regards to the series and all that kind of stuff, make sure to follow me at Yaswazi and also follow my lovely sister.
As I say, it's complicated.
So yeah, make sure to go up there, follow us, and you know, just kind of keep up with like giveaways and updates on, you know, like what's popping and more into our lives. Like, you get to kind of have like a more personal, like, into our life every single day, because we pretty much post every single day about what's going on, what's going on. So yeah, just make sure to do that. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed what you heard or you thought something was interesting. I'm looking so forward to the conversation down in the comments, guys. I really want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah,
I really do. Like, I don't care if you're African, if you're American. Tell me your experience. Tell me what you found interesting. Tell me your own experience. I am looking forward. I can actually not wait for part 2, because I think part 2 will be very, very broad. So I cannot wait for that. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching up until this point, if you have. And I am so excited to see you guys in my next video. We will see you soon. So until then, guys, take care.